Hello. I wanted to do a touch base video about how things have been going. And I moved for the third time in my camp membership. And I like the area where I am right now a lot better than where I was. There was a guy that was noisy, and he gave me the creeps, and I thought there was something unnatural about a guy who talks incessantly like that. I thought something wasn't right about him. Not that there's anything wrong with guys that talk. Um, One of my brothers talks a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. Having a lot of verbal communication is healthy, and I encourage it. But anyway, I don't know. It just kind of triggered me. I don't know what it was. Anyway, okay, so moving on. Now, I was there uh, because I had moved from another site, and because what happened was I was having my motorhome worked on, and this is actually my favorite color. um, so this gray silver thing is for Reflectix, and it's probably going to come down here in about a month. Anyway, I okay. I had to have some repair work done on the RV, and so it was going to be in the shop for a week or whatever. And so I was staying at somebody's house. It was very simple. It was all arranged. Nothing complicated. And then I found out that it was about ready in another day or two. And so I thought, well, I better hurry up and make my reservation at my camping membership to make sure I get in there. And anyway, there was somebody I talked to that said it wasn't going to happen, and that was a futile argument. Okay, so as soon as I called the local area where I wanted to be, she let me right in. But she said nobody, they aren't letting anybody in like the day after tomorrow or whatever. So she said, I'm going to schedule you right now. And so I thought, and then it was suggested by the person whose house I'm staying that I just go pitch a tent and then come back to this person's house and you know, just stay the night at the person's house and just leave the tent there to hold my spot. Well, it doesn't really work that way. And I was afraid that they were going to go by and notice that I'm not around and my car isn't there, and I will not be able to hold a spot. And so I thought, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to rough it. I'm going to try. And so I brought my tent because I bought a brand new tent, and it was a nice 8-man tent. And I also have a 4-man tent. And the idea was, and I've had this idea for a long time, I wanted to try it out anyway. So I put the 4-man in the 8-man, and then put a blanket, like I put a wool blanket and a sleeping bag over the 4-man tent, and then I put a cot inside the 4-man tent, and it never really quite fit right in the 4-man tent, so the feet were out. I have to explain this to you. I don't think that I really want to show you what the tents look like because I don't really want to be identified. Sorry. So anyway, and I was freezing cold the first 2 nights. Okay, so I stayed the night 3 nights in my tents. The first 2 nights I was freezing. The third night, my neighbor loaned me his space heater. And then lo and behold, come to find out that another neighbor, was using my RV hookup because I was in a tent I wasn't using the electricity. So they they said they were there first and was first come first serve. I think they had a distorted understanding of what that actually means. But anyway, they were using their own RV hookup location in their spot, and then also mine. And I could have easily just pulled the plug, but then I'd be worrying all night long about what they were going to do to my stuff. So I left them alone. And I thought, I want to keep this camping membership. I don't want to make any trouble at all. I want to pick my battle. So I'm going to let them be in the wrong and leave it. And so my neighbor that loaned me the space heater hooked up the heater to his Class A. And it did flip off. And fortunately, I was able to tell him about it before it got too late at night. So I didn't freeze another night. He had apparently, and I was worried that was going to happen too, that there were going to be too many appliances on at the same time and the breaker could flip. And what am I going to do? Be knocking on his door at midnight, in the middle of the night? Yeah, it's just not a good idea. So, anyway, so about halfway in the middle of the night, I was still freezing cold. And because I had the heater turned in the opposite direction, it was sideways. I had it sideways because I was afraid to point it at my cot because I didn't want it to catch fire. So I just turned the heater straight at my cot, but I didn't have any blankets in the way. They were on the sides and not at the foot where I was pointing it. Anyway, the heater was pointed underneath the cot, and it was so toasty warm the rest of the night. It was great. Okay, so that was a good thing. And from now on, that is a very viable option. I'm telling you, if you have an electrical hookup and a space heater and a tent, because at another campground, I saw people staying in tents, and I didn't understand it at all. I thought, these people got to be freezing. And now I understand what they were doing. They just hook up a space heater. When you have electrical hookup. Okay, so moving on. So anyway, I left that same campground. I left that site to get away from the selfish people, and then there was a weird guy that was talking a lot, and I thought he was kind of strange, and I didn't feel comfortable around him, so I moved to the spot where I am now. Okay, so now, same campground, because I'm supposed to be here 24 days. They have me scheduled. I really like the spot where I am now. It's pretty quiet, and some families around. There's a homeschooling family. I can hear them. The mom is teaching them, and I homeschooled, and so I understand what she's going through. But I only homeschooled one child. Anyway, it's a different experience for different families, different kids. But anyway, it's a good thing. I guess I had another video and I didn't like it and it was too long. I was having a hard time uploading it anyway. But basically what I said in there is that it's really important to like where you are. It is absolutely crucially the most important thing. You have to like where you are. It has to work for you. And whatever that means, if it's a boondocking or an RV park or whatever you're doing, you have to like the environment. And this is working for me now. I think it's just a lot of the RVs here are full timers, and a lot of them are not here. So that explains why there's not a lot of noise, but there is some noise. Um, what else was I going to say? This could get complicated because if they make me leave on the day I'm scheduled to leave, they're still saying they're not going to let anybody back in the park. So I got to talk to somebody about what the deal is. And I'm already having an offer from somebody who wants me to sign up to pay out more money for more advantages. You know, they just want money, 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 and I don't have a lot of money, and they are barking up the wrong tree, and that was part of the beauty of this membership was that it didn't cost as much money as some other memberships. Um, and I'm gonna look into some boondocking options too because I just found out that I can get a solar phone charger, and that was my main concern with boondocking because I'm not set up for solar. Um, is as I did in my other video, I'm vain. Sorry. Anyway, I'm looking in the mirror as I'm doing the video, and I go fix my hair. Okay. Um, I'm worried about. Well, I was worried. Okay, I gotta have my phone. So, I gotta call 911. If there is a rapist or serial killer or whatever, somebody attacking, trying to break in or whatever, I gotta be able to call 911 and I gotta have to have a charged up phone. So I found out there is something called a solar phone charger. So I need to find out where this is and get one for myself. Um, and because all the rest of the boondocking deal I can do standing on my head easily. I I was made for camping. I love camping. I want to do this so bad, and I want to cook on a fire, and I want to do that whole deal. Oh, I just love it. Um, yeah, I don't necessarily. I don't need to do the whole deal. I don't need all the. I don't plan on getting a bunch of solar and putting it on my roof. I am in a regular RV. I'm not in a van or a car. Um, I suppose I might consider there's something else called a suitcase, but I don't understand how all that works, and I don't know that I've taken the time to figure all that stuff out is going to be worth my trouble. But if I can at least keep my phone charged, I can at least do the boondocking thing in the summertime. Because I really, really don't like having to depend on going to somebody's house to mooch dock during my off time because my membership requires that I not be there all the time. I can stay for a maximum amount of days and then I have to be out before I can come back in. That's their system. Um, I don't really want to give a lot of information of where I'm going to be, and so um, I'll be back with more pertinent activities and information, but I'm just keeping uh, in touch, touching base, and I guess I will show you something that I work on, if I can get it. Um, I make scrubbies, and they make really great pot scrubbers, or like face washers, or you can use it in the shower. And it uses a special yarn. It's not regular yarn. I knit. I do not crochet. Okay. Um, that. So this video is getting too long, and I don't know if it's going to upload if I don't stop the video now. So have a lovely day, and maybe my subscriber list can get longer than half a dozen. That would be great. God bless.